many people have gone to their website and watched the videos, right?
Yeah.
We get so you're telling me, John or Al, or Al, you're saying that a year later, you're telling me that the system hasn't worked and you want $100 business, which shows that 500 people have watched your video. You're telling me you haven't sold 1 or 2 houses from this?
Yeah.
Because in our experience, that's impossible. You know, everyone.
Yeah.
And the
That's
answer
a you problem.
the answer I just gave Al was like 3 or 4 answers together. I would have broken that up in sound bites. That wouldn't have all came out all over.
I know.
That would've been-
We're role playing. This is as best as we could try to do.
Exactly. To both your points, there's 3 levels of understanding, right? There's head knowledge, there's experience, and then there's multiplication of that experience. So that's teaching, and that's doing it multiple times. This is all shooting from the hip.
Right.
When you do it, it's going to be so much more simple. Trust me.
It is.
You'll just get on the phone. It's a normal relational conversation. You're going to talk about their business a little bit. You're going to talk about what we have. You're going to put the ball back in their court. If they do something, you'll follow up with them. If they don't follow up with them. Basically, move on. Do not chase people around. But what was I going to say? The whole reason I was standing up here.
That's all right.
No,
Think
come
about
back
it, but
in
I'll
here.
come
I
back.
will offer
you go.
lunch.
I'll
Listen,
throw some. Oh, go ahead.
at lunch, I will offer while
Oh,
everyone's
I got
eating
you.
if we be quiet. Go ahead, you go first.
So here's the thing. We talked about multiple decision makers. It gets super complex. First of all, don't believe the lie that there are multiple decision makers. There aren't. There's always one decision maker. Find that person, and unless you're 90% sure that they're the decision maker, don't bring them to Jim or Steven.
No.
That's a no-no. They will waste your time like crazy because they're like salespeople in the organization that love how good of a salesperson you are, and they will eat up all of your time and energy, and then come to find out they can't even make it.
It's okay to ask them, are you the decision maker on your own marketing?
Get to that as quick as you possibly can. How do you get to that?
We had that with the
LinkedIn,
Wells Fargo.
Facebook, stock. I mean, the whole Predator thing. Maybe we'll leave that out. But know ahead of time. Is this the decision maker or not? If it's not, try to get to that decision maker as quick as you can. If they don't want to be gotten to, then oftentimes you're not going to get to them.
So guys, if you call a Wells Fargo, we already dealt with it. That's too big of a company, too much corporate bullcrap to go through. For loan officers, I was a loan officer. I called some loan officers too. You call the small mom and pop brokers, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
So same thing, and so just keep that in mind when you're calling.
While we're talking about pricing at the break, like Rodney Smith was one, and there was a couple others that were talking about the $8,000 price point. Well, we have to think about that. We do not want to sell that. He was asking how we get around that, and the guarantee that Jim just gave is on the 20,000. The
Plus 20,000.
It's not on the 16,000, the 12, or the 8. So we want to downsell to there if we have to. We do not want to start there. So don't go out there and say this deal's only $8,000. It will kill you because it's too much per unit. Because they're going to look at that inventory as $80 a piece when that's not what they're buying. They're buying a system, but that'll be in their head.
Right.
I'll work harder selling them out of the $8,000 up to the 1,000 piece at 20 grand than I did to get the original sale. Because I know they're going to suck if they do it in $80 a piece. We've talked about it before. And that scared fear mentality. Fear never makes money. Fear does not make money. Passion, excitement, balls, bravado. Fear doesn't make money. Scared money always loses. Whether you're a gambler or a business person or whatever, scared money always gets donated to the casino, right?
Well, great point, Chuck. Let's only put that one price on the webpage.
That's all we're doing. I mean, we'll have the price points out there, but it would probably even be better. That's the El Cabasa. That's the way to go. They're getting a Rolls Royce Phantom for 20 grand. That's my favorite car. Purple. Me and Prince sitting in the back. He's playing music. Prince and I are jamming. I'm going to say some wacky stuff to your prospects. I hope you don't mind, but as soon as I key in on them, like, Al, what's your favorite car? You a car guy? No, I'm a boat guy. Oh, wow. So you got real money. All right, I don't have money like that, but what kind of boat do you like? Oh, 59-foot, love a trawler. Yikes. All right, well, you have made some money. You even know that exists. All right, cool. What's that thing run? 2.1 million. I'm going to help you get that boat. I'm going to help you get that. Do you really want it? This system, you go to town, I'm going to get that boat, right? So, $20,000. How many dollars do you spend a year in marketing? You made $1.5 million last year. Most realtors I know spend 20. The real ones, if they're a good number, put 20-30% back in their business. So if you made $1.5 million you spent $300-400 grand last year. Are you telling me when you see this whole system, you're not going to spend 20 grand on it? Al, I want to call you names that you're not going to like me, right? Take a hard look at it. I know you're busy. I know this. I know that. You got sellings, closings. You're saving deals. You're putting out fires. You're running around with your hair on fire. Some night when you get home, put the kids to bed, grab a glass of wine, tell your wife, chill out, don't start the movie yet, get the fireplace going, and watch these stinking movies real quick, would you? Would you? I mean, either you want the boat or you don't, right? I can't help you if you don't want to help yourself, right? So just take a look at them. When you watch them all the way through, you're going to be a little bit mad. If you would have had this 10, 12 years ago, you might already be floating on that, sailing on that boat somewhere. So I'll just have some fun with them. If they're real dry and stiff, then I do dry and stiff with them. If they're fun, loosey-goosey, whatever path, I'm just going to ping off of where they're at and go down that path. I'm not trying to, I don't sell myself out, but different people are different people. Al's going to take in different information than Sheila or Kevin. You'll figure out I figure out real quick who they are. I say some, I don't curse. I say some outlandish stuff just to test the waters, not way outlandish, and I see what comes back, And you can tell how fast they answer, their cadence, their tonality. You can tell who they are real quick. I'm looking at their websites. I know they look all sullen and downtrodden. I know I'm going to just keep it mellow. They're all, I know their pictures, right? You know who you're talking to, right? So,
Later today, we do have to work on edification for the three-way calls. We have to
Yes.
get that nailed down, so we'll do that before today, because we need to be all saying the same thing about Jim or close to it, and the same thing about me.
Yep, the background.
And it's got to be quick, but it's got to be.
I've got all that in my notes, and the quick bullet points I dropped about me. And you can make fun of me, make light of me. I promise you can't hurt my feelings. You can say, I met this schmo. He's not real pretty. He's a fat-ass, corn-fed idiot from Minnesota. This guy made $8 million. He retired at the age of 40, right? He passed out 2,000 multimedia business cards. They didn't have a drip system back then. They didn't have the 20 free reports. They didn't give out the 20 free gifts. I bet this guy would have made $20 million if they had this stuff today. So Jim's sharp. He knows the system. He'll answer all your questions. I'll be able to answer a decent amount of them, but you can hit this guy with a machine gun. You're not going to hurt his feelings. Let him have it. Just slice and dice it if you want. But he knows his stuff. He used this system personally. He bought 2,000 of them, made $8 million in the back end. It exploded his business. One of his multimedia business cards fractured off and brought him 27 clients, including Brett Tanner. Was in a lineage of 27 clients that I got from giving Chuck a multimedia business card. Then Chuck gave it to Lois and Fred and Billy and Teddy, and it fractured off. And about midway stream through that, Brett Tanner was a client of mine, 24-year-old kid, smart, sharp as a tack. I talked him into getting his real estate license. He came to work for me, made several $1 million over 3-4 years. And when I retired 6 years ago, he went to work for Keller Williams, and he's still slaughtering it. So, I mean, it's funny that he came from a multimedia business card.
So I'm going to do it when I edify you a lot shorter, or else you don't like
Oh, yeah.
But what I'm going to say about, we all know that Stephen is the creator of the multimedia business card, but I'm going to say Jim Engel's a really busy guy, but if I can get him on the phone, I really want you to meet him. He's the architect of the ultimate real estate sales system. I want to use the architect thing, because he's the one who designed this thing. He also used an older version of the product to make himself $8 million for a $30,000 investment, but he's the architect of the system. Is the point I want to make when you get him, ring.
Yeah, and then if you say
type that up and send that to
yeah,
him.
and if you say something about the company,
You got it recorded, because I don't remember this shit.
I know exactly.
people will come at you and say, hey, I haven't seen this before. How come I haven't heard of it? I've been around for a million years in real estate. I've never seen it, heard of it, nothing. I said, well, the great news is Steven Anderson, what I would say to him from my point of view, I do not own this company. I work for it, right? I'm a contractor. Steven owns the company 100%. He's been around for 34 years. He's got 28,000 clients over 34 years. He would not have 28,000 clients over 34 years if this did not work, if it weren't successful. They already would have hung him and lynched him. 28,000 people partying with 15 to 20,000 each. He would not be around. It wouldn't have lasted. And me personally, I've been a client of his 4 times. I've paid him $64,000 in the past 24 years. I was a stockbroker when I came out of college, and I used his audio business card. And then when I was a mortgage broker, I used the multimedia business card. So I personally know it works, so I'm a little bit biased, but hopefully I can transfer some of that confidence to you as a real estate agent to let you know it'll work. And again, 15 years ago I bought this product. We didn't have the drip campaign, we didn't have the free reports, we didn't have the freebies, we didn't have the follow-up, and we didn't have three-way partnership of the realtor, the mortgage lender, and the title exec. So you, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor, I know you're sharp, I know you're savvy, you're a realtor, your title rep and your lender need to be ponying up for money. And reality, and you and I both know it, you don't have to say it out loud, I already know it, you know it, I know it, you know that I know that you know that I know. This person's gonna pay 10 grand and that person's gonna pay 10 grand. And you're getting a free ride because you give them all of their business. So you don't need to say yes or no, you can tap your foot once for yes, twice for no, but that's what's gonna happen at the end of the day, and we all know it.
Okay, so, sorry.
Okay, you go ahead, I haven't asked Tony a question. You
Okay,
ask your question.
so a couple things come to mind as gone through this. So first off, you mentioned about 20,000. You had sent an email out previously about not wanting to have the price differential be a negative if they finance it. So you wanted to, so I'm just trying to clarify, this really is 25,000 or 20 if you pay cash?
No, it's 21,500. The price list will be on the website.
Or whatever it is.
And they will all have looked at it.
Okay, so I'm just clarifying that we're still, I haven't read their 1:42 a.m. email yet, but
Yeah. Easy.
What the hell did you do to prep for the meeting?
drove here.
Slack median.
The second thing has to do with the testimonials. I am very impressed, and you just covered it. 27,000 clients, 34 years.